Hi guys, I'm Mike.
And I'm Stephen.
And this is Indy Fanatics, your home for IndyCar content with weekly podcasts and feature videos. Welcome back to episode 10 of the IndyCar Podcast. We've made it.
Massive milestone.
What a huge achievement in the channel's short history.
We've done it. 10 weeks of IndyCar Podcast.
Absolutely. 10 weeks since the start of Indy Fanatics.
We've seen a lot. And
you've all been here for the journey.
Yeah.
Right, okay, we'll stop being dramatic there. Wow. Episode 10.
Episode 10.
Whatever. But obviously the last two episodes of the IndyCar Podcast, we've been doing a season review of the 2020 IndyCar season. But obviously during that time, we have missed out on some news and driver transfers. So today is dedicated to transfer talk.
Oh yeah.
Transfer talk. We're going to be talking Palou. We're going to be talking, who else has signed somewhere? Helio Castro-Neves.
Yes.
We're going to be talking F1 lads in terms of Magnussen and Grosjean, whether either of them are going to be coming to the sport. We're going to be talking about Ryan Hunter-Raey. We're going to be talking about Dale Coyne Racing. Car. We're going to be talking about stuff.
Everyone and anyone is going to be joining IndyCar.
Pretty much.
We're going to be announcing our IndyCar rides very soon.
Absolutely. We look forward to seeing you in 2021, America. No. That's.
We just need to get a few sponsors together.
Yeah, we do. We do, like, all of them.
A few million as well.
Yeah, no, that would help. And to be able to drive.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll pick it up.
Yeah, it can't be that hard, can it? No, absolutely not. Right, we'll start off with Chip Ganassi Racing and Alex Palou. So, I remember the last time we were talking about it was probably the fact that Oliver Askew might retain that seat. But Palou getting the number 10 car, obviously if you follow us on Instagram, you knew, I think it's about a week ago so now, that I did obviously the history of the number 10. Well, not history. Since Dario raced for the Chip Ganassi team, obviously he was very successful within IndyCar. It's been a bit of a struggle since with Tony Kanaan, Ed Jones, and obviously recently Felix Rosenqvist. And Rosenqvist was getting there, but chose that Aaron McLaren was going to be his best future prospect. But yeah, what were your thoughts on Alex getting the Chip Ganassi seat?
Interesting. I know he's come second in Rookie of the Year, but he didn't set the world alight. Although he was a rookie, obviously Colton Hurd had an unbelievable rookie season with those. Did he get 2 race wins in his rookie year? Or was it just the 1 race win?
2.
So yeah, he didn't set the world alight. But obviously he's a young prospect. He's from Europe. He's very good. Well, he's very good on the road circuits, street circuits, because that's what he's familiar with. And obviously as the 2021 calendar is mostly made up of road and street circuits, it's probably quite a good move.
I think it was definitely the calendar that helped Chip Ganassi make this move for Alex. I think he's definitely shown good potential. His best weekend, no doubt, was the Road America doubleheader.
Yep.
Especially when he secured that podium.
Yep.
I think that was definitely his best weekend on it. He was learning, but showing in depth. Rinus VK definitely adapted quicker. But would you say that Ed Carpenter Racing had a better season than Dale Coyne Racing?
Oh, it's difficult to... Probably.
There you go. Probably.
Well, where are they in the standings?
Well, it might have been different. He might have secured another podium at Mid-Ohio if Ferrucci hadn't taken Palou
he was looking good there.
Rosenqvist out in that. basis. Funnily enough, the car that he would move into. But yeah, I think Alex Palou is going to be a really interesting one. Next season, don't expect him to set the world alight, but this is definitely future planning and future thinking. Alex is highly rated. I think he did impress in the paddock in his rookie season within the sport. Then it's going to be interesting. I mean, he's got two pretty damn experienced guys in there.
Yeah.
Maybe Marcus Ericsson not so experienced in IndyCar, but obviously had a few years in Formula One as well, and in his 30s now. So an experienced driver, and also you've got Scott Dixon, and I don't think you get more experience than that in IndyCar
and what
right
about
now.
the other guy? Jimmy Johnson, of course, in running that part-time schedule. Serial winner in racing.
Exactly. May not be one to learn necessarily. Jimmy may be learning more from him in terms of IndyCar stuff, but in terms of a champion's mentality, how to conduct yourself, all those things that make you a racing driver, he's got two very experienced and successful heads in the sport with him in Scott Dixon and Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
So yeah, very interesting one to see how that one's going to unfold. The other one, most recently, is Meyer-Shank Racing. We're obviously talking about investigating a second car into the series and doing a bit like what they've done with Jack Harvey in making it part-time. And then progressing onto a full-time seat. So yeah, Helio Castro-Neves, Meyer-Shank Racing. He gets the return to IndyCar that he was wanting.
Yeah, is it 6 races in the season? Or is it 8 races?
6 races. That is slated, including, of course, the Indy 500, where Helio still is looking to see if he can get a record-equaling 4th Indy 500 win.
That would be impressive.
It would
Especially at Meyer-Shank Racing.
It would be, and we would get to see the classic Helio climbing the fencing at Indianapolis again in his traditional celebration. But I think really smart move for Meyer-Shank Racing.
Yeah, definitely. You're looking for an experienced pair of hands, and you've probably got one of the best on the market. Available, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, 21 seasons where he's driven at least one race for Team Penske. Obviously, doing very well for Team Penske in the sports cars. Obviously, again, if you follow us on Instagram, would have seen the post. Helio Castro-Neves securing his first major title in the DPI class of IMSA. Super impressive.
Yeah,
super impressive for him to get it. And it's the least his career's deserved because, like I said, 25 wins in IndyCar, which puts him tied 13th on the all-time list. 3 Indy 500s. You know, most people are happy to just win one, but he's won 3 of them.
Well, yeah, you got Scott Dixon on 6 titles and
only 1 Indy 500. Yeah. Exactly. You got him runner-up 4 times. I think another 2 third places on top of that in his time in IndyCar. Yeah, just so close, but never quite for Helio Castro-Neves. But all those years of experience, being involved with a team like Team Penske, bringing that across to Meyer-Shank Racing. Jack Harvey, I'm sure, will learn a lot from that experience as well. I think that's a really good team and a team definitely to look out for in the future of IndyCar.
Yeah, definitely.
Big aspirations, though obviously a smaller budget compared to the big guns, shall we say.
Although they're getting more investment.
They are. Liberty Media.
As we said, Liberty Media have taken a stake in the company, so, you know, they're building up.
Lofty ambitions.
Yeah.
Shall we say. Definitely one on that one. And obviously, so we spoke about Chip Ganassi. There's their 4 seats field. The 4 seats field at Team Penske with Scott McLaughlin, Simon Pagenaud, Will Power, and of course, 2020 runner-up Joseph Newgarden.
Yep.
Actually, an interesting one just on before we go on there. While we did mention Team Penske, Simon Pagenaud, I think, did an interview with The Race recently and was quite open about he just really struggled with the balance of the car in 2020 with the new aero screen.
So he just can't get used to it.
So yeah, he said that my teammates adapted to it quickly, quicker than I did, but he feels like when he gets it down, bam, he'll be straight back up there. You know, Pagenaud is a very, very good driver, especially in the sports car category. He is one of the best, certainly out there in that category. So it will be really interesting if he can get to grips with it in the 2021 season. And obviously you'll be probably then seeing the 3 Team Penske cars fighting for victories again at the 4, hopefully for them, if Scott McLaughlin hits the ground running. But we'll certainly see on that one with Team Penske.
2021 looking rather Penske.
They've got a very strong driver lineup, as always, at Team Penske. But moving on to another one of the big ones, Andretti Autosport. 2 of the seats that haven't been filled but expect to be sealed. I haven't seen the official confirmation, but I've heard that it pretty much feels confirmed that Ryan Hunter-Raey has secured the DHL backing needed to retain the number 28 seat, so he will drive another season for Andretti Autosport. And obviously James Hinchcliffe at the end of the season drove the number 26 Gamebridge entry with Andretti Autosport, and I think he is going to be able to secure that full-time seat.
He's pretty confident. I think before the final race,
he said it was already decided. He didn't align.
So he didn't care about crashing it. Obviously, he cared, but it wasn't like, oh my God, this is my career done.
Yeah.
It's like, damn it.
Yeah. Frustrated, but not the end of the world on that front. So, yeah, interesting one. Do you think... Interesting one. Obviously, Ryan Hunter-Raey crept into, with that top 5 finish, another top 10 finish with Andretti. But... obviously, since winning the title in 2012, won the 2014 Indy 500, he is, well, we've proven age is just a number. So his age isn't really an issue. But is Ryan Hunter-Raey performing at the top level of a top team seat?
No.
Okay. There we go then.
Well, I guess top 10 finish, you go, yeah, fair play. But it wasn't a memorable season last year. This year.
Yeah, in a season where Rossi struggled and Herta was very consistent, he seemed well off the pace of those two.
Yeah, 100%.
And was obviously beating Zach Veach, but you'd expect him to have been doing that, and Marco Andretti as well. So, yeah, maybe disappointing not to move on and see someone else in that seat.
He didn't show it up. He didn't get the race win that Rossi didn't find it, but Herta found it. Rossi nearly found it. Never looked like he was going to win a race.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously Rossi looked like he was going to win a race, and Herta did win a race.
And there were a few mistakes. I remember coming out of, pit stops, just binned it into a wall. In one of the races. I can't remember whether it was Iowa or Gateway. I can't remember which one of the two it was. But yeah, in a season, he struggled big time. So it's definitely a big season 2021 for Ryan Hunter-Raey, I think. Yeah. I think if he doesn't show something that he's shown obviously previously in his career, a very talented driver, and obviously just won at the weekend the Sebring 12 Hour.
Yeah.
With Mazda.
Very impressive.
So obviously that's another hugely impressive win. I think that may be his second time that he's won at Sebring. So yeah, very good for Ryan Hunter-Raey. He still clearly has the talent. He just needs to piece it together over the course of an IndyCar season. But maybe we're too harsh on that, because Andretti as a whole had a pretty poor season in 2020.
And just looking at his history, when he's nearly crashed out the sport, he's come back with big performances.
Absolutely.
So he's going to win the 2021 season.
Absolutely.
He's going to the double and win the Indy 500 as well.
Okay.
He's going to win every race.
There you go. You've heard it here first. Ryan Hunter-Raey dominating 2021. That would be some story, I think, certainly on that basis. Okay, we'll move into the rumour mill and obviously our area of strength as we continue to learn and develop our IndyCar knowledge. But Formula One, 2 drivers out of a seat. I'll leave a link in the description down below to David Land's video that he recently did of F1's invasion on IndyCar, basically talking about 4 prospects of guys coming to IndyCar. Checo, Jenson Button, Kevin Magnussen and Roman Grosjean. I'm going to say now, Checo I'm ruling out. For 2021...
He's looking very likely for the Red Bull seat.
He's looking very likely for the Red Bull seat. But even if he doesn't get the Red Bull seat, I don't think IndyCar... I think he will take a sabbatical and try and get a seat for 2022 in Formula One. So I would go Sergio Perez, bang, roll that one out already. Jenson Button was an iffy, maybe doing a few kind of road course races. It'll be interesting. But as said in that video, it would most likely be McLaren, and McLaren are most likely only going to run the 3rd McLaren car at Indy 500.
Yeah, next year.
And he doesn't seem too keen on the ovals.
Yeah.
But the 2 who do have a genuine real possibility is Kevin Magnussen and Roman Grosjean. Kevin Magnussen's dad, Jan Magnussen, obviously raced in IndyCar and a very experienced and successful sports car driver. Kevin has always expressed an interest in IndyCar. I think with his lack of funding, I think 2021 would be unlikely.
Bit too soon. Yeah, well, it's his lack of funding that's lost him his F1 seat, basically.
Absolutely.
And you still need the money to go into IndyCar to gather the sponsors, to get the financial package to go, especially for teams that don't have that surplus at the moment to just run a 3rd car, or like McLaren. Because McLaren's the most likely, because Zach Brown's the one that's shown the most interest, hasn't he, in the media?
Yeah. I think McLaren definitely have lofty ambitions to be a big team within IndyCar. So they will be looking to step up to that 3rd car, but stepping up to running a full-time 3rd car is quite a big step up from 2 cars.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, Kevin Magnussen, I just think he's probably going to race in sports cars in 2021. Use his dad's links there. Maybe have a World Endurance Championship drivers. I think that would be easier for him to attain for 2021, with the prospect of using that full year to gain sponsorship for a 2022 IndyCar seat.
Get a package together. Yep.
That's what I reckon we'll do there. Where Roman Grosjean, I think very likely, because he does come with financial backing. It was one of, I think, the reasons Haas kept him for another season in 2020. I think Grosjean would do quite well in IndyCar. I think he's fast. Qualifying, I think he would definitely be right up there. Racecraft, people will make jokes about it. I think when Roman Grosjean has been in competitive cars, you've seen a good Roman Grosjean.
Yeah.
And I think at the age of 33, 34, he would be coming into IndyCar. Like we said, that's not necessarily going to hinder him.
No,
his
still got
age.
good 10 years in him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Pagano came in late to IndyCar off the back of being successful in sports cars. So, yeah, I think he would suit the series very well. And David mentioned in his video, Dale Coyne Racing. Obviously, it's one of the seats that are available with Palou making way. There will be a second seat there. Apparently, there is a French engineer there, so obviously having a native-speaking engineer to go with Grosjean would work. Alongside Santino Ferrucci, because I think Ferrucci looks set to stay at Delcoin, with obviously Ryan Hunter-Raey retaining a seat.
Because doesn't Conor Daly race the ovals for Delcoin Racing?
I think he's Ed Carpenter Racing and Carlin.
Yes, sorry. The Ed Carpenter Racing. But yeah, and it's mainly the calendar favours Grosjean. Obviously, we're in the more road and street circuits. He's spoken to Marcus Ericsson.
That was the big swing, and even he softened his stance on ovals.
On ovals, yeah,
because
with the aero screen.
Yeah, so he'd be happy with the aero screen, and also Marcus saying what a fantastic event, which it is, the Indy 500, that he'd be happy to compete in on that basis. So I think out of F1 prospects coming across, definitely Romain Grosjean is the most likely out of those ones, and I think he would be pretty successful in the series. Or competitive, shall we say. You don't know whether anyone's going to be successful, but I think definitely competitive.
Yeah.
Moving on to guys coming across series. Obviously, he's had a test over the course of the winter, and I don't think for the 2021 season. I think he will be at DS Tech Cheetah for another Formula E season. But Antonio Felix da Costa.
Oh, yeah.
Enjoyed his time in IndyCar. Still young. Very good driver. Was unlucky and probably should have given an opportunity in Formula 1, but got a top seat in Formula E with DS Tech Cheetah, and surprised a lot of people by winning the 2020 championship. And obviously, the Formula E season ended in a bit of a weird way because of COVID. They kind of had 6 races on 3 different circuit layouts in Berlin.
Yep.
But Felix da Costa was leading going into that.
Yeah.
He was having a very good season and was driving incredibly well. And IndyCar is something that's interested him. Apparently, he was always pestering Bobby Rahal for a chance because they knew each other to test, and he got the opportunity to do that. Really enjoyed it. Was competitive time wise.
Yeah, I think he was in the top 10 or just outside the top 10.
Yeah, he was in the pack, certainly.
Well, the big thing was he was the only Rahal Lanigan Racing car who did the testing there. So it was like huge responsibility put on him. So clearly the relationship there is very strong. And you've got to think it's inevitable that once Felix da Costa says goodbye to Formula E,
he'll be making the switch over to IndyCar, which that'll be a good trivia question. I don't know in terms of that. Has there ever been a Portuguese IndyCar driver before? I don't know on that basis. But I also think Rahal and Lanigan Racing are one of those teams who will look to move to a third car at some point.
Yeah.
So as they kind of continue to develop, they got Takuma Sato, they've obviously got Graham Rahal. I think Antonio Felix da Costa, and surely he would be able to get quite a good sponsorship package, because obviously being a Formula E champion, there certainly would be no shortage of suitors to back him.
Yeah,
I think, and obviously the fact that he tested there and was impressive in the testing as well. You know, I do think it's a genuine option, but probably not for the 2021 season.
No, because he'll probably want to have that championship fight in Formula E to defend his title.
Yeah, and I also think that it's something he wanted to, but probably wanted to test. And so the test has come too late, as in for them to really seriously put together a package. And I don't know how long his contract is with DS Tech Cheetah.
Yeah.
It might have been like a minimum 2-year contract.
Possibly, yeah.
In terms of that. But is there anyone else you would like to talk about in transfer talk?
No.
Okay, that's it.
Shut it down.
That's done. I think we've rounded up and given our thoughts on everyone.
Yeah.
Obviously, over the course of the winter. We'll be carrying on talking about and updating on news as and when it comes out. But also just on kind of topics to kind of field podcast if you want. And we'll be kind of maybe re-looking back at old races and talking about our old championships from there. But if there's any ideas or things about IndyCar you'd like us to discuss, like maybe do a full episode on the possibility of Ferrari joining IndyCar in the future and what that might mean for it, or looking ahead to the hybrid engines and what that might mean for IndyCar, we can obviously do stuff like that, as well as obviously our weekly feature videos continuing through the course of the winter months as well.
Yeah.
But that's it. Comment down below with all your thoughts on the transfer talk below. And like I said, any topics you would like us to discuss in future IndyCar podcasts. Now, obviously, we made it to double figures. You know, we're a big deal.
The sky's the limit.
The sky is the limit. But if you're new around here or haven't done so already, what can they do, Stephen?
You can like, subscribe, and ding that bell.
Ding it! So for now, you Indy fans, keep racing.